Hey guys, it's Liz, and today's video we are going to be making breakfast. And what we are going to be making is an omelette for breakfast. And here I have some spinach. I also have some cilantro or coriander. Some of you call it coriander, call it cilantro. And then I also have a medium-sized tomato. That's what we are going to be using. Now with the tomato, I'm only going to be using the outer part. I don't want to use the inside of the tomato. Then I have red pepper, bell pepper. All right, so I'm going to be using about half of it. I'm not going to use all of it. Then we have the scallions. I already cleaned them, so I'm going to chop them. And I'll chop them or cut them into very small pieces. And then that's what we are going to be using today. All right, now you can add any greens that you like for your omelette. It doesn't have to be these specific ones that I'm using, but I personally prefer this. And although there are times I don't use the scallions and I just use the red onion, but I find the scallions go well with an omelette. So we're just going to cut this into really small pieces. And we are going to do the same with the cilantro, the spinach, the same with the tomato and the bell pepper, our red pepper. Hey, let me know how you guys make your omelette. Comment down below. What do you use? How do you make it? And yeah, I'd love to hear what type of veggies that you guys use to make your omelette. This is it. Here are the scallions, and we're gonna use all of them. Next, I'm going to cut or chop the spinach. I don't like to cook them with an omelette as I get them from the store. Sometimes I do, depending on what it is that I'm cooking. But for an omelette, I prefer to chop them a little bit more smaller. But if I had bought them for some other dishes, sometimes especially baby spinach, I just cook them as they are. Clean them. Always clean them, even though they are already washed. I try to buy the ones that says triple washed, but even with the triple wash, whatever, I still come home and wash my own spinach or kale. Don't trust people cleaning this stuff for me in the store. So I always wash them again. And sometimes I spray them with a little bit of vinegar, then rinse them. Our spinach are done. Next is the cilantro. I'm going to chop my cilantro, and this is the much I'm going to use. If you don't like cilantro, you can always skip this step, use something else. Like I said earlier, it doesn't have to be this one. So if you're one of those people that don't like cilantro or coriander, just find something else, maybe basil, something else that you like, some other leaves, all right, some other greens that you can use. But yeah, I love cilantro, so for me that's going to be it. So this is done. We are done with the cilantro step. As you can see, I chopped them. This is good size. There it is. Next is going to be the tomato. So I'm going to remove the inner part because I don't want it to be too liquid when I start cooking the omelette. Like I don't want the water, if you know what I mean by to be too liquidish. So I'm going to dig this out. I'm not going to throw this away. Maybe I'll use it with something else or to make tomato paste or tomato sauce. But yeah, because I'm using it for an omelette or an egg, I'm going to take all this out. So no water in my egg. No water. So dig this out and don't throw it away. Use it for something else. All right. So now that I've removed the inner part of it, the inside, I'm just going to cut the outer part into small pieces. And then this will be ready to cook. All right, so the tomato is all done. As you can see, this is good. This is just the way I want it. And we are going to use all of it. And then we are going to chop the bell pepper. I'm not going to use all of it. I think I said that. I'm only going to use about half of it. I don't want to put too much of it. It all depends, honestly, on the size of your omelette. So, but the one I'm cooking, I need just half of this. All right, so as you can see, I'm going to cut small pieces, just like I did with the others. And by the way, you can also use the green one, the green bell pepper, or yellow or orange, totally up to you. It doesn't have to be the red one, but that's just what I wanted to use today. So, but green ones are good actually too. All right, so you can use any of those. So we're done with this one. Maybe I'll add a little bit. Maybe I'll add a little bit, a little piece. I was going to do half of it, but I think I'm going to add a little piece. Tiny, tiny, not a whole lot. But if I was making maybe a lot of omelettes, I'll use all of it. But for now, I'm going to make 2 omelettes, and this is going to be enough for the 2. Okay, you guys will just get to watch one, because I don't want to bore you and keep you here forever. So the bell pepper is done. You can see. All right, so here we have the bell peppers, we have the cilantros, the spinach, we have the tomatoes, and we have the scallions. All right, so this is all I'm gonna be using with my omelette today. So everything is set. Next, I have preheated my cooking pot. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a cube of butter, just a small piece. And then once that is melted on the cooking pot, we're going to go ahead and add our scallions, and then everything else is going to follow. Now that our butter is melted, we are going to go ahead and add the scallions. All right, and stir it a little bit before you add the rest of your veggies. My scallions are just the way I want them to cook. So I'm going to add cilantro. Next I'm going to add the spinach. With the spinach. We're going to add the red pepper, bell pepper, and last the tomatoes. Stir it up. You see why I had to drain my tomato, remove all the water or the juice inside the tomato, because I didn't want water in here. So I'm just going to cook them just a little bit, not a whole lot. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit of lemon pepper. A little bit of that, not a whole lot. A little bit of black pepper, a pinch of salt, and that's about it. Okay, let's see, just a little bit of black pepper. Can't even see it. And then I am going to put a pinch of this. little bit. Because remember, I use butter, and butter is a little bit salty. This is the salted butter, so that's why you have to be careful. Depending on how much you're cooking, of course. All right, and that's done as far as this. So we're going to turn off the heat. And then next, we are going to get the eggs ready. All right, so now we are going to prepare the eggs. Now, my eggs are very, very small, so I'm going to use a lot. But if they were large size eggs, I probably would use like 2 or 3. Yeah, they're very, very tiny, very small eggs. So I'm going to use a little bit more than I would normally use. So I don't want you guys to think that I'm using a whole bunch of eggs, but you probably can't tell, but they are very small. I don't know why they sell eggs that are so small. But anyway, medium size, large size would be fine. So probably going to use 5 or 6. Yeah, very, very tiny eggs. So we're going to go ahead and whisk our eggs. And then in just about a few seconds, they will be ready to cook. You know the drill by now. Preheat your cooking pan, add butter, and then followed by the eggs. All right, so make sure you pour everything. Unless you want to make a small omelette, then you don't have to put the whole thing. In my case, I'm going to use all of it. Then I'm going to go back and make another omelette. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it cook a little bit. And I'm cooking on low heat, not high, not medium, because I do not want my egg to burn, especially because I'm using butter. It's very easy to burn. Next, I'm going to add the veggies that I already cooked. All right, as you can see, it's looking nice. I just added all the veggies that I need for this omelette. Now, I did not put all the veggies that I cooked, as you can see, because this is just for this first omelette, and then the rest of the veggies will be added to the second one, which I'm going to cook, but you guys are not going to see it as it's not going to be on video. So I'm just going to finish cooking this one, then I'll cook the next one. Next, we are going to add the cheese, and I'm actually just going to use 1 slice, and this is the cheese that I'm going to be using today. Just 1 slice, and I'm going to put it in the middle right here. All right, so this egg is pretty cooked. So what I'm gonna do is, because I still want the top to cook a little bit more, I'm going to not flip it. I'm not going to flip it the way you would flip a pancake or regular egg. I'm going to take 1/2 of this egg and put it on top of the other half, kind of folding it, all right, into two. Next, I'm going to leave it to cook for about a minute on low, very, very low, because I don't want it to overcook. Because if you cook on high at this point, because of the butter, it's going to burn. So I'm going to cook it on low. I can pretty much eat it as it is, but I prefer to cook a little bit more so the inside of the egg can cook just a little bit more. Right, so this should be done in just a few seconds, in about a minute or less. All right, so our omelette is finally done. As you can see, I just cooked it for a few more seconds, about a minute, and I'm getting ready now to turn off this heat and take my omelette out, put it on a plate, and it is done. Now, you can eat it as it is, or you can eat it with a toast on the side, or you can make a sandwich with it. But for now, this is it. All right, so here is the omelette. It's all done. Put it on a plate and sit down and enjoy. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. Bye.